I walked into the dining room late, coat still damp from the rain. Plates were already stacked, wine glasses half drained, my parents smiling in the dim glow of candles. 30 years together, this was supposed to be their night. Mom pressed a folded bill into my palm, soft and secretive, like I was a child again. "Take this," she whispered. I unfolded it, a crisp $1,000 note. Too deliberate, too rehearsed. Then my sister's voice cut through. "You're our ATM." The table erupted in laughter. Forks clinked. My father chuckled. Even Mom smiled nervously. I stared at the bill. Not a gift, an expectation, a performance. Something in me snapped. I tore the note down the center, the sound sharp as a knife across fabric. Nobody laughed after that. I left without a word. 3 months later, the bank called me. The manager's voice was polite, too polite. My parents had tried to refinance their house, again. But this time, their safety net, me, wasn't there. I had quietly withdrawn my name from every joint account, every co-signed loan. I had erased my shadow from their balance sheets. They had treated me like a vault with a beating heart. But vaults close, locks change. That night at the anniversary wasn't just humiliation, it was revelation. I remember when it began. As a kid, I thought family was shelter. I bought my sister her first car when her credit failed. I paid my parents' medical bills when Dad's insurance fell short. Every emergency was somehow mine. And I never asked for anything back, except respect. But respect was the one thing they couldn't afford. The signs of betrayal weren't dramatic. They were subtle. My sister's sudden vacations, funded by loans she never mentioned repaying. Mom's sly remarks about me being lucky to have a good job. Dad's silence when they joked about me footing the bill. They didn't see me. They saw currency wrapped in skin. And that night, when laughter spilled over me like grease, I realized they weren't my family anymore. They were creditors, parasites dressed as blood. I didn't rage. Rage is noisy, and noise warns prey. I stayed calm, smiling at work, going to the gym, quiet dinners alone. But every free hour I had, I planned. First, I met with my lawyer. We combed through every joint asset, every co-signed liability. My name was everywhere. A lifetime of help had tied me like a hostage to their debts. Piece by piece, I untangled. Refinanced what was mine, revoked authorizations, froze joint cards. It took weeks. Patience became my weapon. Then I set traps, subtle ones. My sister wanted another loan. I told her the bank had flagged my accounts. That seed of doubt, planted. Mom asked if I could just cover another bill. I told her I was under investigation at work. Their golden goose, suddenly unreliable. They started to scramble, exactly as I expected. The bank's call was confirmation. "Mr. R, your parents are unable to secure refinancing. They assumed your co-signature would still apply." I almost smiled. It doesn't. That week, my sister called me screaming, her voice jagged with desperation. Her car had been repossessed. She blamed me. I didn't argue. I let her words fall flat against the silence. Mom texted, "We're your family. Don't do this to us." I typed back one sentence. Family doesn't laugh while they rob you. The confrontation came 2 weeks later. I met them in the same dining room, but this time I arrived early. No candles, no laughter, just 4 walls and the stale smell of defeat. Dad tried to start with reason, talk of legacy, duty, bloodlines. I listened, calm, detached. Then I laid out the folder, bank statements, canceled authorizations, notices of repossession, their entire collapse mapped out in neat columns of numbers. I pushed the folder across the table. "This," I said, voice low, steady, "is the bill, the real one, and I'm not paying it anymore." Mom's eyes filled. My sister cursed me under her breath, but I didn't waver. For the first time, they saw me not as a wallet, but as a wall. Justice isn't loud, it's quiet. It's the absence of a call when they're drowning. It's the silence after years of being drained. As I walked out that night, I felt no guilt, only clarity. They had mistaken kindness for obligation, love for leverage. They taught me that blood can be a leash, but leashes can be cut. The payoff came in whispers. Neighbors murmuring about my parents selling the house. My sister moving into a cramped apartment, bitter and broke. I didn't gloat. Revenge doesn't need an audience. But every night I sleep soundly, knowing the vault is closed, the locks are changed, and the key is mine alone. Family betrayed me with laughter. I answered with silence. And silence, I learned, is the sharpest revenge of all.